Red Bull aspetto Tedeschi che accoglie il numero 101 indossata da Mattia Guadagnini, e poi quella dell'MRT numero 53 di Valerio Lata e quella...
Welcome back to Trentino. Fabulous location here, just north of the north shore of Lake Garda. Fabulous location, of course. You can see we're in the Dolomite Mountains, snow-capped mountains. We've got lakes, rivers, hikes, mountain bikes, skiing, you name it, windsurfing. Fantastic location, great place to have a Grand Prix, and an even better atmosphere ahead of MX2 Race 2. The racetrack just under 1,600 meters long, and as you can see, we're running in the opposite direction. That 180 left first turn, not as tight as that, but still, it's quite a difficult first turn to navigate. We'll go through race 1 in a moment, but the last time we were here, we had wins from Tony Cairoli and René Hofer, Jeremy Seewer and Maxime Renault, and Jeffrey Hurlings and Iago Geerts, who will be on the winner's trophy today when they stand on the top step of the podium. Well, as you can see, the MX2 riders are out on track for their sighting lap. Hitting the finish line now, they'll go left and then across the start straight and down back to the waiting zone. And as they prepare to disappear down there, you can see the atmosphere, the fans, the craziness of a lot of nations, not just Italy, but we've got Greeks in there, we've got Italians, we've got French, we've got Germans, we've got Slovenians, you name it, they're all here, and they're all wacky, ready for another set of wacky races. Anyway, let's check out what happened in MX2 Race 1. The first MX2 race, and it was Tom Vial from about 6 gates over from the right-hand side as we look down the gate, who grabbed his 4th Vauxhall shot of the season. Few riders went straight on, but as we emerged at the bottom of the hill into turn 2, Mikkel Harper around the outside went from 4th to 2nd, with passes on Thibaut Beneston and Isaac Gifting. Langenfelder was in there, so too Adamo. They were in 5th and 6th place. And then Adamo found his way up the inside of Beneston, but Beneston rebounded immediately. This was for 4th place. He did, though, a couple of turns later, find his way back past the pole man. Adamo was up to 4th at that stage. Isaac Gifting then fell from 3rd, Gifting positions to a whole bunch of people. He re-emerged in 9th, ended up in 10th. Iago Geerts tried on several occasions to find his way past Adamo, but the Italian was being very stubborn. A little bit further behind them, Kaiser Wolf and the 2 Gas riders, Guadagnini getting the better of his teammate Langenfelder. That put Langenfelder into 8th. Guadagnini was up to 7th as Iago Geerts did eventually find his way past Adamo with 3 laps to go to move into 3rd. A slight wobble there for Vial as Harp was closing in, and then on the final lap, Harp too made a mistake. Such the intensity of the level of racing these two were putting in, but it was Vial who went on to win his 3rd race win this season, his 30th career win. Harp was 2nd, Geerts 3rd. Adamo and Beneston rounded out the top 5. Well, a little bit of quiet out there on the racetrack. And as you can see, the riders down there just getting ready to go to the line. But Lisa Leyland caught up with some very important people, actually. Let's hear who she had to speak to ahead of MX2 Race 2.
So as you know, in September, we are going to a brand new event. We have got Oman coming up in 10th of September, and we're so looking forward to it here at MXGP. But with me now at the start, we have the Oman delegation who would like to say a few words. Now, firstly, just tell us, what does it mean for Oman to have MXGP in town?
Oh, it's a fantastic event, and for us it's the first World Championship in the country.
Okay.
So in the history of the country, it's the first World Championship, so proud to host the MXGP.
That's amazing to know. And can you tell us, what can we expect when we go to Oman for the first time?
Well, Omani people have a very big reputation for being very welcoming. It's a beautiful country full of history, heritage, and culture, and I'm sure that the whole MXGP team, the riders, all the visitors will have a fantastic time. You know,
Yeah.
we cannot wait to have you.
We can't wait to be there. And finally, you've come to the MXGP at Trentino in Italy. You've chosen a good one to come to. What are your thoughts here at MXGP?
Well, it's a very nice opportunity to be here and see the magnitude of this event. Can't wait to have it in Oman. Looking forward to it. We're here to learn on how to make the event in Oman go smoothly and amazingly, as we hope. And the experience, the weather here is amazing. Be ready for a lot of sun and enjoying our time in Oman.
Oh, we can't wait. It's fun.
Stay safe.
Yeah, well, fantastic to have all three of you with us, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Thank you.
We can't wait. Remember, we have the MXGP of Oman coming up in September, but now it's back to the racing. It's time for MX2 Race 2.
So, we've just had the MXGP of Oman organisers there then, and you can see that 10th of September, the last round of the championship before we head to the Monster Energy FIM Motocross of Nations at Redbird, 25th of September. But left-hand side of the screen, we are at round 5, the MXGP of Trentino, here at Pietramarata. 1 week break after this, and then we head to Latvia and Kegums. The moon cam is coming into land, just getting some aerial view shots here of the racetrack. Riders making their way to the line, and the MX2 riders line up in the following order. Thibaut Beneston on pole for the first time in MX2 after winning the qualifying race on Saturday. Kai de Wolf goes to the line second, ahead of Simon Langenfelder, Tom Vial, Kevin Horgmo, Isaac Gifting, Mikkel Harp, and Rick Elzinger. Rick Elzinger, the EMX 250 European Championship leader at the moment, here as a wild card. Then we have Stefan Rubini, Mattia Guadagnini, and Andrea Bonacorsi. Håkan Fredriksson, Jeremy Sido, Andrea Adamo, Conrad Muse, Kevin Brumman, Jan Panzer, Jargo Kietz, Tom Guillaume, Peter Pollock, Liam Evans, Max Spies, Valerio Latta, Glenn Mayer. 34 riders going to the line in total. Tom Vial, your winner from race 1. 30 career race wins now for the Red Bull KTM rider. Mikkel Harp, a fantastic second for the second time this year. Can he turn that around and come away with a race win, and therefore the overall win? Third in the race, Jargo Kietz. Had some traffic to work his way through, but eventually he found his way past Adamo with 3 laps to go. But Thibaut Beneston, your pole man at Monster Energy Yamaha, started 4th, quickly got shuffled back to 6th place before getting himself back into 5th position. And Simon Langenfelder, Red Bull Gas Factory Racing, had to be content with 8th, losing a couple positions in the last 5 laps or so. And if you could pick a winner, would it be Simon Langenfelder? The 101 of Mattia Guadagnini. He will be keen to impress the Italian fans here today. He started outside the top 15, came around on the opening lap in 12th, eventually came home in 7th place. So he has the speed, he has the pace, so too does Kai de Wolf, 6th in race 1. After a poor start for the Nastan Husqvarna rider, he'll be hoping for better this time around. That's the view down the start straight into that 180 left-hand first turn. Andrea Adamo ran 3rd for the mid part of the race. It wasn't until 3 laps to go that he got caught by Jargo Kietz. He's still on course, though, for a podium, his 2nd in MX2. green flag down here. Our FIM race director giving the signal for the Fly Racing 15-second board to be hoisted up into the air. Who will it be that grabs that all-important foxhole shot? Tom Vial for the 4th time in race 1. Will he do it again in race 2? 5-second board turns. Good, clean gate drop. Apart from Adama, I think, getting stuck behind the gate. Vial with another foxhole shot. His 5th of the campaign. He leads through turn 2, just like he did in race 1. Elzinga is there in 3rd place. Behind him, in front of him, is Thibaut Beneston, top of the hill. So the 2 French riders, Tom Vial, Thibaut Beneston. Be some fun and games here. Lead Frenchman, anybody? Slight problem there for Elzinga. Looked like he hooked in neutral. Kai de Wolf right behind him in 4th place. Then 5th as we drop downhill. We've got Sido, Yogo Hicks in 10th place. Another poor start for the championship leader. That red plate may come under threat today. Because as we head into this race, there's only 11 points between Hicks and Vial. And it's Hicks, and it's Vial who leads the way. Look at that hard and slick and polished and stony and loose it is over on the far side of the racetrack. It's now up in a 7th place, but again, Vial being afforded the luxury of leading the race. Another fantastic start for the Red Bull KTM. Your 2nd place finisher from race 1, Mikkel Hara, there he is going into that left-hander. He's in about 11th place at the moment, so he's got some work to do. Get the riders over the line this first time around, though, but it is Vial who leads the way. Beneston 2nd, Elzinga 3rd. In fact, de Wolf 3rd now, because Elzinga being pushed back to 4th as de Wolf goes through. Just behind Elzinga, Jago Kietz, he's in 5th place. Sido 6th, Langenfelder, Gifting, Rubini, Guadagnini. They are your top 10. But it's Vial who has a 1.3 second advantage over Beneston at the moment. And there is Beneston being pushed by de Wolf. Bit of a moment there twice for Beneston, allows Kai de Wolf to get alongside him. Didn't get a good exit speed, and then he hit the bank as well. And that's allowed de Wolf to get alongside, but there'll be no way through there. Beneston will make sure of it, and then he knows that de Wolf is out to the left. Controls that inside line into the shade, back out into the sunlight. De Wolf jumps long, has no choice, takes 2nd from Beneston. A much better start, more explosive start this for de Wolf. Looks up and he sees Tom Vial just ahead of him, the race leader. Elzinga just coming into view there in 4th place. Kietz 5th, a bit of a gap. And we've got Jeremy Sido and Isaac Gifting now up in the 7th place. Found his way past Langenfelder. Kietz to the inside. Finds his way past Elzinga. Moves into 4th place. Two laps complete. De Wolf, fastest rider on track, fastest lap of the race. Not much in it though. 6/10 between him and Vial in terms of lap time. The gap 1.6 seconds. 2 Yamahas here. Beneston, Kietz. Those two 3rd and 4th at the moment. Won't be an easy task trying to find his way past the 198. Again, just hitting that berm too deep, getting unseated, Beneston. Heading uphill this way, the sun in the rider's eyes. Quick pull at the tear-offs there for Kietz as he looks to go around his teammate. Not sure if he knows it's him. The two teammates almost come together. this for 4th place. Tries to cut back to the inside, looking for a smoother line, smoother run through the waves, trying to stay out of the holes. Does that, but Beniston still beats him to that left-hander. Can he cut back here? No. Elzinger in 5th place behind the 2 factory Yamahas. Geertz needs to find his way past his teammate. Can't afford to lose ground to Vial de Wolf ahead of him. This time he thought about getting up there, but you see how slick it is on the descent as well. A little bit of water has gone down in the break. Vial leads 3.6 seconds clear of 4th place rider here. The number 93, the championship leader. Watch these two here on the exit. Beniston to the right, Geertz to the left. Had to back out of the challenge, and they're like, whoa, no need for that. Keep it clean. Again, Geertz tries to regroup as he goes after his teammate, Thibaut Beniston, who's a little bit cleaner through that turn this time around, but Kai de Wolf has, with the fastest lap of the race, closed right in on Tom Vial. Beniston, Husqvarna factory rider. Second in shot, second in the race. A bit untidy coming out of there. Again, the 2 Yamahas going at it in that bottom corner. But it's still Beniston who hangs on to that 3rd place. Making it very difficult for his Belgian teammate. Again. Oh, and he just tips over. Loses a place to Elzinger. Keeps the bike going. Sido not close enough to capitalise. Geertz down to 5th. That is a gift for Vial. So we'll see how that affects the podium. Whoa, back end a little bit loose there from de Wolf. See how that affects the podium this time around when they sort themselves out. No doubt about who the winner would be, though. Tom Vial looking to make it 3 Grand Prix victories in a row. Argentina, Portugal, and here. Watch this. He just tried to do something different. The front caught the edge of the berm. Back end came around on him. Frustrating for the team down there in pit lane. Here he is. He's re-emerged in 5th place. And as it stands right now, Vial would take the overall victory. De Wolf would be 2nd with a 6th and a 2nd. Beniston would be 3rd with a 5th and a 3rd. Geertz would be tied on points with his teammate with exactly the same score and same race results as well. First and second, heading up the hill, jumping from the light into the shade as the sun disappears behind one of the Dolomites. Back end getting loose on the 28 of Vial. Are we going to see a race similar to what we had in race 1? Only this time de Wolf keeping Vial honest and not able to find a way through, or will the Dutchman have something for the Frenchman? There's your podium as it stands now. Folds the front. Kai de Wolf, that was lucky. Maybe just too much front brake going into that left-hander. And Adamo. So disappointment for Andrea Adamo, 4th in race 1. He won't score in race 2. There will be no podium celebration for the Italian like there was in Lombardia. The battle for the lead, though, intensifies. 1 second between Vial and de Wolf as they hit the line, but you can see the number 74 all over the back of the Frenchman. And Geertz closing back in on Elzinga. This will be for 4th place and 3rd overall. Or maybe 2nd overall. It's not been a bad MX2 debut for Rick Elzinga. The Hutamatao Yamaha, number 44. Currently in that 4th position, looking at 6th place overall at the moment. Still a long way to go, though, and I tell you what, the 74 there of De Wolf scrubbed, almost overcooked it when he landed too far down the hill. Maybe just getting desperate to find his way past Vial. Doubling in nicely, though, at the end of the straight. Very technically gifted rider, Kai De Wolf. Very stylish as well. But he is young. He is still prone to making mistakes, and he just needs to iron them out. But you can't knock his effort. We've had somebody down, I think, because I definitely heard the roar and the moan of the crowd. So it might be even... yeah, I think we've lost Jago Geertz. I think that was what the cry and the roar was for. Yeah, Jago Geertz down again. And the front brake is jammed on. The front brake is jammed on. There's nothing he can do about it. That's off the step down. And I bet, as he's come through there, he's high-sided off the side of the track there, because that is a tricky little thing anyway. You have to be straight when you take off. So Geertz out of 5th place. And that is going to be big for the championship. We will have a new leader, and it will be Tom Vial. And here he is. He's got problems with the front brake, the back brake, and all kinds of stuff, Jago Geertz. But he is outside of the points at the moment. What a turnaround here in Trentino. Kai De Wolf, Tom Vial probably don't know at the moment. They will next time around. But a lap ago, at the end of this straight through the right-hander and on that step down, that I think is where Geertz fell through there. This step down here. And by the roar of the crowd and the moan of the crowd, I think there was a high side there that's pitched him over the bars, possibly. "17 minutes to go. 7 laps complete. Vial, De Wolf, Beniston 6.4 seconds apart. But 1.2 is the gap between these two here. Vial and De Wolf. Elzinga 4th. Guadagnini up to 5th. He's just found his way past Jeremy Sido. Langenfelder is 7th. Borgmo up to 8th place. And then we've got Gifting and Rubini. Right, we do have a distant viewing here of our Jago Geertz crash. Top left corner. Look, slid off. And then high sides and threw himself down. Big, big moment for the championship. So Tom Vial will jump to the top of the championship standings. 208 points for him. Jago Geertz will remain on 194, which is where he was at when we started this race. A massive swing at the top of the championship. This Trentino circuit always throws up the odd surprise here and there, doesn't it? And out of this corner here, going in the opposite direction, Jago Geertz collided with the bank on the exit and smashed his shoulder up, didn't he, if you remember, the last round? In, 2020, I believe it was. So, maybe not so much of a happy hunting ground. Elzinger's been off, or is that Bonacorsi? 35, Bonacorsi. So we'll have a 14-point gap at the top of the championship. Will Tom Vial, if it stays like this? 11, if De Wolf can find his way through. Here's Kevin Horgmo coming towards us now. He is in 7th place. And then Harrop in 11th place. He is in amongst traffic, but 4 more points. He's on the podium. But 14.5 minutes plus 2 laps in which to do something about Rubini, Sido, Gifting, Horgmo. But Horgmo here, FNH Kawasaki, number 24, going after Langenfelder on the Red Bull Gas. Ah, see how greasy the track is down there where they put water down. No way through. The German being very stubborn in that 6th place. Harrop getting alongside Rubini or Sido and goes around the outside of him, picking off another position and therefore another point for Harrop. This will be a hard-earned podium if he can pull this one off. Rubini also went through. So Harrop, 2nd in race 1. Back-to-back podiums, the last 2 Grand Prix. 3rd in Argentina, 2nd in Portugal. Can he make it 3 in a row? Rubini goes to the inside, Harrop to the outside. The Dane has the Frenchman locked firmly in his sights at the back end, just steps out of line there on Rubini's Honda. Gave him a bit of a nervous twitch. 9 laps complete. Vial, De Wolf separated by just over 1.5 seconds. Berneston is 3rd, Elzinger and Guadagnini. We're going down to pit lane in a moment to talk to the Red Bull KTM technical boss, Dirk Grubel, because Tom Vial continues to lead the race.
Dirk Grubel, we see Tom Vial leading the way at the moment. He's going for his 3rd GP victory in the row. He's looking really strong out there, and he's also leading the championship at the moment because we saw Hertz go off. What are your thoughts on his form, and what feedback has he given to you so far?
No, I mean, Tom is improving every week. He's coming back into his rhythm, and the more he rides, the better he gets, the confidence coming back. Now we saw also 2 whole shots, let's say. And no, it's important for him to lead races and win races. And thanks for the information with leading the championship. That's a plus on top of it. He will like that for sure.
Okay, best of luck to the team. Thanks, Dirk.
Championship leader before we arrived here, Jago Geerts, in 26th position. He crashed out of 5th on the step down, and he struggled to break back into the points since then. Looked like he had a front brake jam on as he tried to get going. He was kicking his right foot peg as well. So maybe 1 or 2 issues that he's having to ride around. But Tom Vial won't care too much about that. He leads the race. He leads the championship as it stands right now. Oh, Horgmo just getting on the gas a little bit eagerly. Look at this freight trainer riders here. Rubini looking interested. Going after Gifting, 5:17. The Hitachi KTM rider fueled by Milwaukee as Harrop looks to go around the outside of Rubini. The ship to cycle. Honda SR Motor Blues rider number 38. Doing everything he can to keep Harrop to his outside through this turn 2. Completely different racetrack to what we had in race 1. Race 1 a lot heavier in places. This is more akin to what we had in qualifying on Saturday in most places. Dropping downhill. Langenfelder in 7th, Gifting 8th. Rubini over on the far side on the Honda, and then the Kawasaki of Hara here in 10th position. This one will come down to fitness between these 4 riders, I think. Who's prepared to dig the deepest? Langenfelder lost a couple of positions in quick succession in the latter stage of the race to come home in 8th place. Jago Geerts into pit lane, and that's it. Jago Geerts' race is done. Geerts is out of the race. Mattia Guadagnini, Red Bull Gas in 5th position at the moment. 7th in race 1. Good enough for 5th overall. He would have loved to have been on the podium. Still not over though, because, well, he needs another 6 points to be fair. What are his lap times? He's lapping quicker than Elzinga and Beniston ahead of him, but he does have 3 seconds to make up to Rick and another 4 seconds to Thibaut. Hart chasing that podium as well, though. He's possibly slightly better placed than Guadagnini is to chase the podium, having 3 riders directly ahead of him. Guadagnini just holding things up a little bit through here. Gifting gets caught following him. Rubini able to go around the outside, but can't make the pass here, but maybe at the bottom of the next hill. Jumps longer and gives himself nowhere to go. Gifting heard the Honda coming down the outside of him. Just changed his line, ran him wide. He was hoping to rail the outside line. Was the Swede. So Rubini will have to go again. These 4 riders. Oh, Langenfelder in 7th, Gifting, Rubini and Hara. Could go any which way. Up into that tight left. Oh, twice. Langenfelder, and those mistakes cost him twice. 2 positions he loses in one go. He's on borrowed time now. Gifting and Rubini go through. It's only a matter of time before Harp does as well. Guadagnini has caught Elzinga. Kevin Horgmo, the fastest lap of the race. Back end working overtime again, and Harp does find a way through. Harp into 9th then. Keeping an eye on the Guadagnini Elzinga battle, those 2 fighting over 4th place. There's your race leader, Vial, still being shadowed by the 74 of Kai de Wolf. 6.5 minutes plus 2 laps remaining in this second MX2 race here in Trentino. And Guadagnini keen to find his way past Rick Elzinga. Close to the bank there. Guada. Poker face. You wouldn't want to play poker with Claudio, would you? Oh, and he spins up on the exit, gives a lifeline to Elzinga. So Guadagnini has to do all that work again as they fight over 4th and 5th. Horgmo gaining in the background as well. The fastest lap of the race by a considerable margin. Homing in on Guadagnini, just behind him, coming into view any moment now on the Kawasaki. Harp has found his way past Rubini. He's now into 8th place. Now going back up to Gifting. So Gifting of Sweden, Harup of Denmark, all of a sudden, the Big Van World MTX Kawasaki looking like he is going to seriously challenge. He nips down the inside, he'll have the line on the exit. Gifting has to yield, Harup goes through. He now moves into 7th place. Still got some work to do. It may put him on the podium, but he's still got Gifting breathing down his neck. We'll wait to see how that affects things as they cross the line this time around. But you can see how far back the gap between Harup and Horgmo, about 10 seconds. Can't see him whittling that one down in the next 4 minutes or so. But this one is going to run the distance. 2 tough races for Tom Vial. First one being pushed all the way by Harup. Second one being pushed all the way now by De Wolf. Kevin Horgmo, the fastest rider on track. 49.4 last time around. A 50.2 this time for the Norwegian. Thibaut Beneston still on the podium, 3rd overall at the moment. Haven't seen too much of him. He's 3rd in the race, out on his own. 14 seconds behind these two in just his 2nd ride back after knee surgery. Harup is tied on points with Beneston, so he needs another point from somewhere. Here's Kevin Horgmo charging uphill. He's got Guadagnini in his sights there, the 101 Red Bull Gas. The F&H Kawasaki been pretty quick in this 2nd race, come through some serious traffic. He's up into 5th position and still looking for more. Rick Elzinger just losing ground to both these two riders, Guada and Horgmo. But once again, we're seeing Kevin Horgmo strong riding in 2022. Give him a start, he will be up here with these two. And these two are still separated by about a second. Tom Vial and Kai de Wolf. Could be 4 laps to go. Lap times are 1:49s for our lead duo. We still have more than 2 minutes on the clock. They've already gone through. They're already in turn 3. Horgmo getting some distance coming out of that little final right as they drop back onto pit lane. Cuts to the inside. Just loses out a little bit on the exit, but not for the lack of trying. Oh, he's pushing hard, isn't he, Horgmo? He's definitely making Guadagnini work for it. The Italian with the fastest lap of the race this time around, also in the 1:49s. Half a second quicker than Vial and De Wolf. So Tom Vial continues to lead the way. He won the MXGP of Trentino here back in, well, September, October, was it, last year? Which was the first of 3. And then he had a couple crashes after that, didn't he? Sorted himself out. Rennie Hoffer winning one, Maxime Renault winning the other one. In that Trentino trilogy, and he's almost up the side of the bike. If De Wolf, who's made a mistake because he's now 3 seconds behind, had he been close enough to pounce. Watch this here, just comes in, has been hugging that bank, and then he just catches an edge. heart-in-the-mouth moment there for the 28. That'll only fire him up, just to make sure he can recoup some of that time he may have just lost. Sector 1, 31.7, 31.5 for De Wolf. 2.8 the gap as they hit the line. There is De Wolf. 3 to go. De Wolf looks like he's just thrown in the towel after making some mistake somewhere that cost him time, because these two were never more than a second apart. Making his way towards the final 2 laps then. Tom Vial has been immaculate all day long. Rick Elzinga is just ahead of Mikkel Harup. This might be the point he needs to get himself on the podium. And he sets the fastest sector 2 of the race, does the number 11, as he homes in on the Hutton Mattal Yamaha rider, Rick Elzinga. He'll look up, he'll see Elzinga right there, ahead of him. Just over a lap to go. So Elzinga, can he hang on to that 6th place? 11th in race 1. But you can see Harup is closing hand over fist. It's only a matter of time. It will happen on this final lap, I'm sure. Harup closing in. He was massively quicker. He sets the fastest lap of the race, a 1:48.6. Elzinga 1:52.2. And you can see him. And Elzinga knows he's there. He's almost powerless, though, to do anything about it. It's been another hard charge for Harup. Elzinga goes defensive. Harup's going to go the long way round here. Elzinga will try to hang on. You just feel Harup will have the measure. His experience in MX2 the last couple of years or so should shine through. Almost offline there, though, for the number 11. Elzinga responding well to the challenge, though. Almost looked too comfortable in that 6th place. Maybe didn't realise Harup was going to charge so much to the end, but this is the difference between EMX 250 and MX2. As Vial goes into the final lap. 3.1 seconds now, the gap between him and Kai de Wolf. So this, effectively, is Vial's race to lose. Dropping down hill to take the 1-lap board. Elzinga still hanging on to that 6th place. I'm sure the pit board this time around for Harup will say pass for podium. Oh, he's definitely trying, and he finds a way through. Oh, he almost does. I thought he was down the inside, but he had to cut across the back of the Yamaha man, not once, but twice. It's going to be a drag race to the top of the hill. Again, another nervous look over the shoulder, but this time, Harup still doesn't find a way through. Good responses from the young Dutchman. Again, Harup goes wide. Lights up the back end. Elzinga defensive. Every turn we pass, the job gets harder for Harup. The only place I can see it working now is the run down towards the finish line under the FC Moto banner. If he's close enough, that is. But he'll want to do it before then, just to be sure. Tom Vial rounds out the final turn. He goes 1-1 here. He makes it 3 Grand Prix wins in a row. There's Hogmo. And Harrop has found his way through. Harrop is up to 6. Elzinga down in 7. This is Hogmo. Guadagnini over the line in 5th. Hogmo 6th. But in the background, we will have Harrop. And Harrop will cross the line ahead of Elzinga. And that'll be a podium on the final lap. He doesn't know it yet, I don't think, but that's 3rd overall for Mikkel Harrop. Watch this here. Did he go inside? Yes, he did. Made the pass sooner rather than later. A clinical move for Harrop. What an end to another exhilarating race. Tom Vial goes 1-1 here today in Trentino. Takes his 35th podium, his 17th Grand Prix victory. And here he is with Lisa.
Tom Vial, great job. You went 1-1 to get your 3rd GP victory in a row. You are on fire at the moment.
Yeah, I felt good today. Especially second motor. Kai was riding also really good, pushing me, but I stayed focused, and the last 5 laps I tried to really focus myself, push, and did some great laps. So no, I'm really happy. The bike was working amazing today. I want to thank the whole team for the great job, and yeah, see you in Latvia. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Tom Vial wins the MXGP of Trentino, his 3rd straight victory. Argentina, Portugal, and now here in Italy. The Red Bull KTM man also takes over the championship lead at the expense of Jago Kietz, who did not finish race 2. Official confirmation then, MX2 race 2. Tom Vial, your winner by 4.2 seconds in the end. Over Kai de Wolf, Thibaut Beneston 3rd, Guadagnini 4th, Hogmo 5th, Harrop a pass with less than half a lap to go to take 6th over Elzinga, Gifting, Rubini, Langenfelder, Sido, Goupillon, Everts, Panzer, Fredriksson and Guyon. And then we had Kevin Brumman, Peter Pollock, Conrad Muse and Glenn Mayer. Overall in the Grand Prix, Tom Vial on the top step once again, this time with 2 race wins. De Wolf 2nd, Harrop a hat-trick of podiums. Beneston just missing out in 4th, Guadagnini 5th, and then we've got Hogmo, Elzinga, Gifting, Rubini and Langenfelder. The big news today though, Tom Vial takes the championship leader's red plate from Jago Kietz. He was 16 points behind at the start of the day. He's 14 points ahead of the Belgian as we head to Latvia. Harrop remains in 3rd. And in the Manufacturers' Championship, KTM now leapfrog Yamaha. Gas stay 3rd, no change for Kawasaki, Husqvarna or Honda. Take a look at the foxhole shot, shall we? And for the 5th time this year, Tom Vial takes the foxhole shot. So Tom Vial moves to 5, Simon Langenfelder 3, Kevin Hogmo 1, Mikkel Harrop also has 1.
Dopo il traghetto per andare a Riola Sardo
Almost getting ready for the podium then here. Round 5. The MXGP of Trentino. The MX2 podium. And third overall. What a hard ride through the field. He was well down and buried on the opening lap, Mikkel Hart, but he kept on pushing. He was second in race 1, 6 overall, 6 in race 2 with a pass, a clinical pass on Rick Elsinger with just a handful of corners to go. Mikkel Hart makes it 3 in a row. The Big Van World MTX Kawasaki rider back on the box. Third, second, third, the last 3 Grand Prix. Second overall, Kay de Wolf going 1 better than he did at round 2 in Lombardia, where he was third overall and disappointed with it. Today, though, he looks a little bit happier, does the Nestan Husqvarna rider. But Tom Vial, 2 wins out of 2, top step of the podium, championship leaders red plate. That was his 31st race win, his 35th podium, his 17th as a Grand Prix winner. And in terms of his first, seconds and thirds, 70 top 3 finishes now for Tom Vial in his MX2 career. Valentino Ragni will take the team trophy. Gianfranco Pasqua, the MCR co-president, handing a third place trophy to Mikkel Hart, Big Van World MTX Kawasaki. Look at the smile on his face. Francesco Mezza-Salma, the FMI councillor, handing the second place trophy to Kay de Wolf, Nestan Husqvarna Factory Racing. Good effort. Same positions as the rider in third, second and a sixth, but it was a 6 and a second for de Wolf. Silvio Regatti, the Garda Trentino Spa president, handing the winner's trophy to Tom Vial. His 17th winner's trophy. His 35th Grand Prix trophy, though. Not sure how many they've got at KTM, but, you know, it's racking up, isn't it? Valentino Ragni on hand to take the team trophy today. Antonio Alia Portela, the FIM CMS director, that championship leaders red plate, arrived here on the front of a Monster Energy Yamaha of Jago Kietz. It's now Tom Vial who takes ownership as we head to Latvia. National anthem time for Tom Vial and the French. Your top 3 here this weekend, the MXGP of Trentino in the MX2 class. Tom Vial makes it a perfect day here in the mountains with 2 race wins. Second overall, Kay de Wolf, and third overall for Mikkel Hart. We will talk to the top 3 after we've seen these brief highlights from that second race. MX2, race 2, all eyes over on the right-hand side. Vial across the line for his 5th Vauxhall shot. Alongside him, Thibaut Beneston. Buried in around about 10th or 12th place at that time was Jago Kietz, and that was costly as well because he put himself under pressure right from the very first lap. Hart was even further back. Look. Rick Elsinger coming under attack. the fast-starting Dutchman. But it was the other Dutchman, Kai de Wolf, who made that pass on Beniston to move into second. Then, top left of your screen, that was Jago Kiert, crashing out of 5th place. He picked himself up, the front brake was jammed on. He had other issues as well. He eventually came in, pulled out of the race, would not score points. He also lost the championship lead. Slight bobble there for Langenfelder, but not one, but 2 riders, Gifting and Rubini, found their way through into 7th and 8th. And then Harp was quick to make a move as well, as he sided his way through to what he hoped would be a potential podium. He made a move on Gifting. That got him into 7th. And then this pass on Elzinga for 6th did secure him that 3rd overall spot. But it was Tom Vial who went 1-1. De Wolf came home 2nd, Beniston 3rd.
Tom Vial, congratulations. 1-1 to get your 3rd GP victory in a row. You were dealing with pressure at the head of the field all day in both races, but you dealt with it well, and you now have the championship lead.
Yeah, it was a great day for me. I had 2 all shot, and yeah, I was riding okay in the first moto. Michael was pushing quite hard. I wasn't so comfortable, but second moto I was much better, and yeah, I just pushed a little bit the last 5 laps, so I could make a small gap on Kai. So no, it was a great weekend. I want to thank the team for the great work. We have now the red plate. Of course, the championship is gonna be really long, but it's always nice to have it on the bike. So no, thanks to everybody around me, and see you next weekend.
Great job, thanks Tom. 2nd overall today we have Kai de Wolf. Kai, still not 100% from your crash, but we thought it would be damage limitation this weekend, but you were pushing in both races. You got yourself on the podium. You wanted it bad out there.
Yeah, it wasn't an easy weekend. Still have some problems with the stuff from Argentina. But yeah, it was a really good day actually. Didn't make myself so easy in that first moto. Had a bad start, so I had to work my way up. The second moto, same, didn't really have a good start, but somehow I made a lot of passes in those first few laps. So yeah, and then I was pushing Tom for quite a while in that second moto. But I made a few mistakes in the end, and yeah, just wanted to keep it easy. So yeah, I want to really have a big thanks to the team. They worked so hard for me the last few weeks, and yeah, I'm really happy with this podium.
Fantastic job, Kai, thank you. 3rd overall today we have Mikael Hara. Mikael clearly riding with confidence and with momentum. That move on Elzinga secured this podium for you. It's great to have you back again.
Yeah, I mean, to do 3 in a row is just unbelievable. Actually, I didn't know that I had to pass him. I was just going for it anyway because I thought a point is a point in the championship, you know. But first of all, I want to say thank you to Big Red World, MTX, DRT Kawasaki, because without them I couldn't have done it. But no, this one honestly feels really, really good. And huge thank you to everybody at home as well watching. I really like the support.
Great job. Thanks, Mikael.
Thank you.
Three podiums in a row then for Mikael Harp. 3rd overall here at Trentino. He had to work for it though, but he did work for it, and he stays 3rd in the championship as well. This was the vital pass on the final lap with a handful of corners to go that secured that triple podium. 2nd overall, Kai de Wolf. 6 and a 2nd for him, guaranteed him 2nd overall for his 2nd podium of the campaign as well. That's the 3rd that he picked up in Lombardia round 2. But the overall winner, Tom Vial, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing. Not 1 but 2 race wins. The overall for the 3rd straight Grand Prix. He also takes the championship lead as well, so he will have the red plate back on the front of that KTM when we head to Kegums in Latvia in 2 weeks' time. Congratulations to Tom Vial, Red Bull KTM, on a fantastic GP win here in Italy. We will be back in just over 1 minute's time for the final race of the day, MXGP Race 2. Don't go away.
tutti gli altri ragazzi della classe MXGP riusciranno a